Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the United Way for our latest Manchester United news. Me and Amaya will be reacting to the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer interview, the quotes that we seen earlier on today. Again, if you didn't watch the interview or the show that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doing on the overlap with Gary Neville, Roy Keane, Ian Roy, and oh my God, how am I forgetting that other girl's name? Can you help me, Amaya? The Man City girl?
Yes. Give me a second. Give me a second. I don't remember blues that well.
No. But look, check it out if you haven't already. Me and Amaya have watched it, and I'm sure many other people have watched it as well. And as soon as I say it,
Will
pops
Scott.
up. There we go. Good man. Good man. There we go. On the ball. But yeah, look, Amaya, how's things? First of all, have you gotten over the results from Sunday?
Yeah, it's surprising what a shot of tequila can do to you. You just forget the whole weekend.
Yeah, exactly. But how's things overall, anyways?
It's good. It's good. Work-life balance I'm trying to find, and I'm failing at
Yeah,
it. But it's I like coming here and being on this podcast, so I'm not complaining.
lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. And look, we will jump into. Obviously, I'm guessing you watched the overlap earlier on with Solskjaer on it.
Yep, twice.
Twice. God.
One when I was bathing, and one when I was like just working and all.
Yeah. Well, look, it was a good interview. It's probably the best one I've watched. And that's just me being me.
Yeah,
Well, I need to
I
watch the one. I need to watch
yeah
the
I
one with
said
Rooney and Beckham. That's what.
yeah.
That's when.
Yeah, even I have watched only clips of that. I've seen Yapstam's one and I've seen Beck's one. So I'll have to see the one with Rooney next.
Yeah, that should be good. I reckon that. Have they had anyone else in it that's been who we've kind of looked at? Um, I don't know. I don't really think so. I think we've mostly had Man United legends on it. To
No,
to
so
be brutally honest with you.
they've I think they had a few, I think it was Popstar or something that had come, and yeah, I think most of the main guests that do well are United ones because it's Genev's podcast, so and he's a United legend, or so he
Yeah,
says, or
yeah,
should I say,
he
or
is.
so he pretends to not be.
Yeah, well, if he was, look, I always say if you're part of the '99 treble, you're a legend. But that's just me being me. Look, you will get stuck into. I'll start off with what you said about the sacking. So he said, I knew at half time, absolutely 100% against Watford, that was it. The team talk at half time was about whoever wants to play, put up your hand. If you don't want to play, made a few changes. A couple lads were in tears. Look, I remember that game. I think it finished was a 4-1. Um,
Yeah.
and we absolutely. That game I can remember it as clear as day. Look, do you reckon sacking was the good decision? Do you reckon we hadn't got a choice, or would you have kept him a lot longer? Because he did say something similar that I'm 100% sure we would have finished in the top four in the Premier League if I'd said that season. Absolutely sure, because what happened after I left didn't really improve things. So do you reckon things would have been better, the same, worse? I always say I felt like we probably would have done better if we kept him for the rest of the season. But that's just it's easy. It's easy saying that now than it was back then.
I think, firstly, I don't think the club should have given him that new contract just before the third season started. I feel like they should have waited until Feb. Secondly, I think the way the wheels were coming off, I don't see Oli staying. I didn't have, I knew after that 4-1 that was it. I kept checking Fabrizio's feed to see if it was happening. I cried that day because I knew that it was done. And once that thing came, I cried. That was the only manager sacking that I've ever cried at, because there's there's a few things in life that I wanted more than I wanted Oli to succeed at United. And I can't tell you if it was going to get better or not, because it was it was pretty bad, and no one could understand how it went so bad so quickly. like everyone just shat the bed. So I can't honestly tell you if we would have gotten top four or like what we would have done. I would have stuck around with him for the rest of the season mostly because of how pathetic we were. I was thinking if we're gonna sack him, at least let him finish off the season because there was nothing that we gained from sacking him and putting Ralph Ragnick in. The only thing we gained was the fact that he told us that line that we need 10, 15 new signings, but we already knew that. Beyond that, nothing changed. The football was still bad. In fact, the only time it improved was when Ollie's second in command was in charge. That's it. After that, it was just back down.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you look at Liverpool still gave us a beating at Anfield. City beat us at the Etihad. I think they beat us 4-1. City beat us 4-1. Liverpool beat us 4-0.
4-0. City beat us 4-1. Liverpool beat us 4-0.
Yeah. So nothing. Yeah, you're right when you say nothing really improved. It maybe just got worse. But yeah, I mean, yeah, when you do think back, it was a bit of a drastic, bit of a mad decision. I mean, again, obviously, you said it there about you cried when he got sacked. Obviously, you've seen the interview after he got sacked. He did come out and say, "I needed to do it properly. I've always seen managers when they leave. It's like 2 months later, you slag someone off. That's not me." I mean, look, watching that interview, I think it was not a lot long after he got sacked. I was a bit looking at going, that hurts. Like, that hurts because he loves the club. And when us fans love him, he loves the fans. And just seeing him cry and, even like the part where he says, day be fine, it was a bit like, whoa, it's like someone's taking his kids off him. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we managed to break a guy whose smile was so bright, and we used to make a song about like we rejigged the song "You Are My Sunshine" because of how much we loved him, and we managed to break that guy. So I feel like it was bad, like the amount of abuse he was getting from fans, the way people were talking about him. I couldn't go on social media for a while because like I was a heavy defender of Oli, and even though I was agreeing that okay, it looks like your time will be up because of this defeat, I was not I was not ready to accept the amount of hate comments and crap that was being flung at him. And now I see the same people, like I've seen them in live chats going, you know what, he wasn't that bad anymore. I was like, oh really? Well, didn't seem like that when you were basically calling for his head to be put on a pike.
Yeah, I mean, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, even with me, I was a bit, I was like, I don't want him to get sacked, but it's gonna happen. And I'll be honest with you, man. It kind of feels similar now. Obviously, with Ten Hag, I don't want them to get sacked. I'll back them, but how things go, I'm planning out. It's just, it'll just happen. I mean, yeah, I remember that. Ollie's at the wheel. I remember when I think it was Burnley. We were like, when we were 2 goals down or something like that, and I had Liverpool fan text me saying, "Haha, the wheels are falling off," and then we pull it back, and I think we get a draw. So Ollie was definitely we loved our comebacks. He done the double over Pep, didn't he? I think he done the double over. Yeah.
See,
yeah.
United have beaten City the most amount of times in Pep's reign over there. That's like there were 9 games, and we beat him 4 times out of it. And Ollie was in charge for 3 of them.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, look, we'll go through a bit more. He says the worst feeling for a manager is not knowing what you're going to get from your team. When you have Scott McTominay, Fred, Nemanja Matic, you have players who are going to give everything. It's the best feeling. Obviously, you watched it. Do you remember when he said Fred and Roy Keane was like,
just giving the side eye, like.
Oh man! I mean, we think back. I think some of us even may sell Fred. You know what I mean? I don't put I mean, it's mad, isn't it? How when you want someone gone and they go, you're like, oh, I'll miss them. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for.
How much would we have used Fred this season?
I know. Him and Casemiro worked well. I know McFred didn't work, but yeah. He says it wasn't like Sir Alex Ferguson and David Gill when they ran the whole thing. It was more departments above me that I had to go through to get decisions made. I mean, look, he mentioned about Declan Rice there. He says, I liked him a lot. We would have done well with him in midfield. Was he available? But he would have cost a lot of money. We could have, and we should have rushed at him. Look, obviously there's a bit of Haaland and Bellingham as well we get stuck into. But you look at Declan Rice, at what he's doing at Arsenal now. You look at the club, the structure. You know what I mean? It's just, I know people keep. It's like with Ten Hag. He wanted this player, that player, this player, that player. Did you really think you wanted fucking Johnny Evans and all them others? Maybe not. But you look at Declan Rice. Does it just go to show how bad this club is, run? When he
I just read a stat somewhere. This is a little off left field a bit, but I just read a stat somewhere that Eric has signed, I think, half of his players on free signings or loan signings.
Yeah.
So you have Amrabat, you have Johnny Evans, you have Eriksson, Sabitzer, Weghorst. That's most of his signings have been free or loan signings.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He definitely got all the players he wanted. Oh, yeah. We'll go with that one. Okay. But Declan Rice, I know he would have cost a lot of money. I know Arsenal paid a lot of money for him, but sometimes you have to pay the big bucks if you want to be successful, mate. And in this case, it just wasn't to be. You know what I mean? Like Declan Rice, he wants that.
I want you to. I'll raise you a scenario. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine a midfield. Rice, Bellingham, of Bruno. In front of them, you've got Haaland. And now, open your eyes, you've got Martial, Fred McTominay. Ta-da!
You know what? You had me there. You had me there for a sec. And then you just punched
after
me.
Watching,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. After watching that, I dreamt that. I was dreaming that in my sleep in the afternoon. I was daydreaming that, and then suddenly I just fell and I was like, McTominay, McFred.
Yeah, I mean, it's mad that we could have had them. And
or Caicedo. Fuck it. If you just take Rice out, put Caicedo in, that would have been. We could have any six. We didn't have a six. The six we had couldn't even run. We had Nemanja Matic and all, his legs had gone. He should have been out the door once Oli was made permanent, and a new Matic should have been signed back then. We didn't replace Michael Carrick with anybody. We haven't had a young Michael Carrick style six, someone who can last us for a long period of time since we bought Michael Carrick.
No.
It's pathetic. It's unacceptable.
Well, I mean,
we brought Casemiro as a stopgap signing.
I mean, you look at Haaland. He says, I had him, Erling Haaland, that mould for 2 seasons. So summer before I got here, which was obviously at Manchester United, I rang the club and said, you've got to sign this boy. He'll be top class. That was June, July 2018, and they said no. You know what hurt about that? When I don't know whether it was Ian Roy or Roy Keane asked him much was he, and he said 20 million. 20 million. Look, I hate Haaland.
Yeah, even I do now, but I used to dream about him playing for us. We cross the ball into Bruno playing with Haaland, the amount of chances Bruno creates and the amount of goals Haaland scores. It was a match made in literal heaven. But every time I think 4 million, we bought Anthony for 80. We could have gotten 20 Haalands.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God. It just goes to show he didn't get the backing, did he? He just didn't get the backing. He didn't. I know he was trying to not make it look like he was, saying, yeah, well, the Glazers and that won't back you. I know obviously he doesn't want to be trying to slide digs towards the club, but he is in a way where us, it's not in a way where us fans what can't believe you say that. Where we're like, oh yeah, we agree with you, Ollie. Yeah, we agree with you on that one. Like, Haaland. I mean, like you said there, we could have had Bellingham, Bruno, and Rice, and Haaland up top, Rashford on the left, or even Garnacho on the right, whatever you want to have. But no, like you said, we have most games. Like you have not Fred, McTominay. You have Casemiro, then you'd have Bruno, or you'd have Casemiro, Mainu. Like, look, I love Mainu and Casemiro and Bruno, but I'd rather have a midfield of Rice, Bellingham, and Bruno. Obviously, Mainu could be the backup. I don't mind that. But Haaland. We wouldn't have had Hoyland. We would have had Haaland. And now you look at the team on Sunday, the Man United team. I'd be a lot more confident going to a big game with a midfield of Rice, Bruno, and Bellingham, and Haaland up top. And I think any other Manchester United fan would as well. But no, we didn't get them. We have Amrabat, Ericsson, Casemiro, Scott McTominay.
Move on, man. Before it's gonna get too depressing. I'm just gonna hang myself. Just let's move on.
Yeah, I know. But just think of it. Is it a bit of an idea that the managers just don't get the backing? Like, is it like the status? Like, is it as clear as day? Like, they literally said no. I mean, come on. I know he's that mold. They probably said.
But come on, like the fact that it was like 4 mil, no, 20 mil, no, 60 mil, no, and then suddenly it's 100 mil for Anthony. Yes, like it doesn't make sense. Just like fuck off. Like I really wish I could find that jackass that said no, just to tell him like, congratulations, you fucked over United in a way that is impossible to do. Like you need to like write a book about it.
It does make you sick though. It does. Like, I will admit, it does make you sick. But we did speak about Jude Bellingham, another player. This is the last we'll speak about of the players we could have had. This will be the last. He says, Jude, he was in the building, which was at Carrington. He says, I was there. Sir Alex Ferguson was there. Brian Robson and Eric Cantona were all there that day. We all spoke to him and sold it as well as we could, but he knew what he wanted. X amount of minutes in the first team. He says he was the most mature 17-year-old I've ever met. He had it all planned out. Jude Bellingham. Hey, Jude. Could have had him.
No. He didn't want us. If he said no to having, like, even when Fergie and Robbo went and said hi to him and wanted him, and he still didn't want us, he didn't want, like, there was no convincing him he was not to be it. I've just convinced myself that we were never going to get him. It was futile. Never mind.
And is that the same with Haaland and Declan Rice? We wouldn't have got them either. No way, not a chance in hell. No. Well, no, it makes us feel better. I'll agree with that one.
I'll break out the rope. Time to hang myself.
Look, we'll move on to the Man United players refusing to be captain. He says no one said no to being the club captain, but they didn't want to be captain in certain games. They didn't want to say it to me, so they got other people coming to tell me it was petty. He says many players refused to do pre-match interviews. Bruno Fernandes always did it. Maguire, Lindelof, McTominay, De Gea and Luke Shaw, they always did. The others were worried about the questions. What does it tell you about the players, Amay?
Spineless little... Okay, see you next Tuesdays. I'm trying not to swear too excessively in case this comes back to bite me in the ass. Spineless, see you next Tuesdays. How can, like, if someone were to offer you the chance to be the captain from Manchester United, you're a Manchester United player and you've been offered the chance to lead the team out, your response is what? And if your response is what will people say? Mate, have a look in the mirror. You don't belong there anymore. Like, you should grab that opportunity with both hands. Even if you don't have hands, people would try and grab at that opportunity. People with one leg would try and get to that opportunity, and you've been given that opportunity and you squander it and then hide. That's pathetic, man. It's unforgivable. And I think whoever shies away from being captain doesn't belong at United, because you need leaders. You can't have people who are afraid of wearing the armband because, oh, what will people say? What fuck? What people will say? If you play well, that's what people will say. You have to have that confidence that you will play well. I don't think Oli would have picked someone out of form to go like, "Hey, Martial, you haven't scored all year, but here's the captain's armband." He would have given it to someone who was playing half decent or worth a star, worth wearing the armband. And the fact that they didn't want to wear it is just, it's just damning evidence that we have players that are not meant for being United players.
Exactly. I mean, most of the players that, like we said, the players that were there when he got sacked are still at Manchester United. Right, Fred is gone. Matic is gone. Who else is gone? Cavani, which I think he wouldn't have said no to wearing the captain's armband if it was called upon. But still,
Let's
most
not
of the
go
players.
into this. Let's not go into who did what right now, because it's like, it's done, and we've said what we need to. Like, with no point in assuming something and then, turns out it wasn't that person, it was someone else, and you look like an egg.
No, but what I'm trying to say is most of the players that are here now are still there when he was sacked. So, what I'm saying is nothing much has really changed at Manchester United. I'm not saying, you fucking Rashford said no or Dallo said no. I'm not, obviously not. I'm not trying to pick out what he says he did and all that. And anyways, I'm just trying to say most of the players are still around, which does worry you that,
I know.
we're Manchester United fans, and if Ten Hag said to you tomorrow, do you want to be captain for the game against Everton on Saturday? You wouldn't even say that, and you just take the captain's armband off him. You know what I mean? And that's us as fans. So, you know what I mean? We'll move on. We'll speak about Bruno Fernandes. He says, I know Bruno Fernandes had captain qualities when I was manager at Manchester United. He's got the personality and quality, but he knows, and I've told him that he's too passionate at times and he loses a bit of control. He's right. Bruno can be a bit of a passionate man and lose control at times, but I mean, that's how it is. He said, but then he spoke with Maguire. He says, I love Terry Maguire as captain. He was the leader of that group when I was at the club. Look, there's a lot of debate now around the captaincy and Manchester United. Does Bruno? You can't really take it off Bruno because who else are you going to give it to? That's my question. And so waiting for the answer off people. There's no one there. I mean, do you reckon Ollie his time at the club, like this, like when you look back, because I know, look, if last season when Manchester United were playing well, we could have been the same thing. I could be sitting here, we could have been saying, we're in a better solution now. It's a good thing that we sacked him, but the way Manchester United are now, nothing seems to be going our way. We're not playing well. Club just hasn't gotten any better. What, Ollie and Ten Hag, obviously Ten Hag won a trophy in his fourth season, but do you reckon they give him Maguire captain and, I'll take that away, move that away, scratch that. I just want to, someone's probably still saying he's just not a good manager, he couldn't take the club to the next level. They even spoke about it. Can Manchester get to that next level? Do you think what any manager, with the way the club is and the structure, I know Ineos are in and doing their bits behind the scenes, but do you reckon it's hard to get Manchester United to that next level, with the way things are now and who's still around, or what do you reckon? Because we're a long way away from your Cities and your Liverpools and all that.
So, I hope I'm being audible. My net is giving me a hell of a lot of grief right now.
Yeah, I can hear you, but you're a bit makes sense. But I can hear you. Yeah, you're all right now.
Yeah.
You're all right.
So basically, could you repeat that again? What you just said, I could not hear you.
I just said the way, do you reckon I said, he spoke about it in the overlap that can United get to that next level? Do you think they can? No, don't think you can hear me. But look, I'll ask anyone watching the OMA. I put down. I think there's a few. Can you hear me? No, he's right. So Maya has a bit of issues. So when he's back, I'm sure he'll give us a thumbs up. But anyone watching, Manchester United, he spoke about it in the overlap. Can Ollie said it? Can Manchester United get to that next level? They get to a certain level, but can they get to the next level? I'll move on Maya, let him sort himself out. But I look at Manchester United now, the situation we're in. Can anyone, the way we are, who we have, the players, do we have the right? I don't know. Do we need a full clear out to get us to the next level? Do we need an open heart surgery, like Ralph Rangnick said? What do we need? Could we bring in the next best manager in the world? Could he be successful? If you bring in the Zidane, like say for example, Pep decided he wants to go to Manchester United tomorrow, or Klopp. Do you reckon they'd come here and they'd be successful, or do you reckon they wouldn't because the club is it's just all over the place? I mean, look, I never seen something before. If you had, Ten Hag City against PES Man United, Ten Hag City would probably win. That's that's just, again, I'm not saying whether that's right or wrong. Just to be clear, but we just go to tell you that Ollie, who had us good, but we had good times with Ollie. You can't say we didn't. Right, all good, lovely stuff. Right, yeah, back. Mate, I was just speaking there. Do you think, man, it's with the way we're at now, they spoke about it on the overlap, saying, can they get to the next level? Is it possible? Do you think they can with how things are at the moment?
It is possible. Theoretically, it is possible. But we're going to need money for that. We're going to need money spent wisely for that. We're going to need the right people. We're going to need a structure. We can't just have money thrown at it. Look at Chelsea. Todd Bowley is, I think, the most insane club owner that I've ever seen. And that club is the same club that had Roman Abramovich in it. So, like, he's making Roman Abramovich look sane. That's how crazy Todd Bowley has run Chelsea Football Club. So you have to spend money the right way. You need to get the recruitment right. You need to get everything right. You need to make sure that everything is correct. And for that, you're going to need a lot of work to be done. You can't expect a one season wonder where everything will be fixed. It's going to take time. We're going to have to this is basically going into that haunted house with all the weeds and greenery growing out of it, and then expecting it to just be clean. You're going to have to dig through, cut out everything. You're going to replace everything, clean everything, paint everything again. That's when you get the brand new house. We want the brand new house while the rot is literally eating the house as we speak.
Exactly.
So it's going to take some time, and United fans are just going to have to be patient. Unless they're patient, it's not going to work.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with everything you said there, 100%. So you come in, look, obviously, do you reckon look, I'm not going to say Ineos are going to come in the summer and absolutely, we'll be winning everything next season, but do you reckon Ineos, is there only hope at the moment? Like, does it give you confidence, or?
There is hope. There is hope with Ineos, and they seem to know what they're doing. But again, you need time. So Dave Brailsford and Jim Ratcliffe aren't just going to turn the club upside down one season. Omar Barada is not going to just change, man. Like suddenly we've signed Omar Barada and Dan Ashworth, and Happara were treble winners again. not that way. It doesn't work that way. You're gonna have to build up slowly, and you're gonna have to change everything from the core. Arsenal have gone 5 seasons while winning one trophy. But would you say that their structure is better now?
Well, I mean, look, they're competing for the title, so it's better than it was.
They're competing. They haven't won anything. They only won one FA Cup, which is about the same as winning one League Cup. So in the last 5 years, Arsenal, 6 years, let's go for that. Arsenal and United have won one trophy. I do not count charity shields as trophies. Please don't.
Yeah, it's just a play, isn't it? A big play. Yeah, I mean, would you rather be competing and not winning trophies, or just be shit and not winning it? And like what would you prefer? Obviously, it's a bit of a mad question, but
I'd rather be somewhere there or thereabouts, because when you're there or thereabouts, you you have a puncher's chance of winning it.
mhm.
Even if you play badly on that day, you might just win it in a cup competition. The league's your bread and butter. The league will decide whether or not you're playing well or not. And as of this moment, until we get consistency in this team, which I don't think we can get in the way it's going in a million years, until we get some consistency in this team, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a big issue for Manchester United this season, or maybe over the years, and as well. Where our biggest problem is consistency. That's our biggest problem. You know what I mean? We're too inconsistent, and it's a big issue. And look, like you said, like I said, previous times, I'm not expecting Ineos and Ratcliffe and Brad and Brailsford and all them sorts. So Jean-Claude Blanc, and if Dan Ashworth comes in, and who else to have Manchester United, Premier League champions next season? Obviously, Um, but I think at the moment it's just look, it's hope. I mean, we look at it and we think it's hope. It's and hopefully they can put their
Hope's
magic in.
powerful, Hope's what got Ollie his job. Hope's very powerful. Like, hope is something which it's unquantifiably something that raises spirits, and you get a much better output from your players with hope. Like, without hope, hopeless players are some of the worst things that you can see. Like, broken players with low confidence. Oli came into that same kind of dressing room that we have currently, that Jose had, that Oli had when they were all leaving. But the thing that got him his job was because he instilled hope in them. Hope in them to believe that we can win, and we can do it while playing like Manchester United. And Manchester United was built on hopes. We lost a team in Munich, and through hope and determination, we went and became the first English champions of Europe. That's basically the story of the club. It's hope through tough times. But right now, everyone is not willing to hope. They want to just see the result. They don't want. Neither do they want hope. Neither do they want the hard work. Hard work will take time. Everyone wants a perma solution. I saw some jackass saying that we need to get Xabi Alonso in. Why? What has he done that is so great and so different than what Ten Hag did? You give him 18 months and he gets another injury crisis, and you're going to call him some scouse dipper that was hired on a mistake, and it's the same thing again. Only this time you're stuck with a scouser.
Yeah, yeah, we're not getting him. But look, he spoke. We'll move on
I don't
because
want him.
no, you're all right. Thanks. Look, a manager who is doing well and shitty Bundesliga.
He's doing
Okay.
well, but that doesn't mean he has to get the United job. Like, he's got one season where, like, yeah, he got the season where Harry Kane joined his league. Like honestly, I don't think they would be this good without, like, if Bayern didn't have Harry Kane. I think it's Harry Kane's curse that's causing Bayern to stoop down so low. And of course, he's a good manager, and of course, he's a good tactician. He's been trained by some of the best tacticians in the world. But that doesn't mean that I want him at my club. He's a fucking scouser. Please, let's have a
But tell
bit
me
of
this.
rivalry still. Let's have, like you don't want Mo Salah to be. He's a great player, but would I want him playing right wing at United? No. He's a scouser. He's scored more hat tricks than us. Than we've scored goals at against Liverpool in the last
Tell
few
me
years.
this.
No, we
Tell
don't.
me this.
Yeah, sorry.
Since we're speaking about managers, say Bayern Leverkusen slip it up. I think they're 10 points ahead of Bayern Munich. I could be wrong, but we'll
Yeah,
say they
10
are.
points. No,
Say,
10 points.
say if they say if they slip that up, the Liverpool fans still want them. I'm just saying, like,
I think
it's just
I think they're counting on it. I think those dippers are waiting for him to just get fired from Bayer Leverkusen so that they can snatch him up. Because after Klopp, he's the new shiny thing that they want. They obviously can't go for Gerrard now that they've seen how he manages. If this was
I think
like
Gerrard would be great. I think
if this
Gerrard would
was
be great.
Rangers, yeah, I know. If this was Rangers, like they need to give him a chance. Just all you're talking about, it was Rangers. He went undefeated in the Rangers. Who cares about Aston Villa?
Yeah, God, I hate them Scousers. But look, we're moving on about someone who could be a future manager. He spoke about Ronaldo. He says when it became apparent that he was leaving Juventus, obviously there were other clubs that wanted him, but I was excited. Man United asked me, "Would you want us to try this?" I said yes. Obviously, we know Cristiano is quality and he's 37, but we have to manage. He's the best goal scorer in the world. It didn't work out for me. It didn't work out for Cristiano, but it was the right decision at the time. I mean, look, I remember when we signed Ronaldo, when we signed him back, I jumped around my house like I won the lotto. I thought, holy shit, better getting Ronaldo back. Yeah, it just wasn't to be, was it, for Cristiano Ronaldo? Unfortunately. I mean,
It
like you said, I mean, I
wasn't.
remember
It
the late
wasn't.
goals, but it just wasn't to be.
But I'd
To say.
rather have that than the thought of him going to them dumbasses down at Stockport and then winning them the Champions League. Because then any memory that you have of Cristiano Ronaldo and the Champions League gets tarnished because you know that
Yeah.
he went to those idiots and won it as well. Because he would have won them the Champions League. He was the difference. I think they lost to Real Madrid in the, or was it Chelsea they lost to? No, they lost to Real Madrid
Real Madrid, yeah,
in the
yeah.
semis, and then yeah. So like he gets them over the line. Like he knows Madrid in and out. He knows how they play. He would have gotten them over the line against Madrid, and he would have with the way Kevin De Bruyne plays. It's just and the fact is they could have just played him for that one season, won the Champions League with him, fucked him off, and then got in Haaland, and we would have just been sitting with the dick with our dicks in our hand. So
Yeah.
if that was my option, and the other option was, yes, turned out hell for him, but like you can still get to enjoy Cristiano Ronaldo's time at United with a little bit of fondness and not think of him as another Tevez, I take that any day of the week.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad. I remember the news that, oh my God, Ronaldo was going to go to Man City. I was like, no, surely not. He didn't. He didn't, which
I
I'm delighted.
honestly couldn't believe it. On the one hand, I
Yeah.
could believe it because money talks, but like I was like, how could you? Like you you are you we gave you the stage to become who you are. Why would you do that to us? And then he came to United, and then I saw that Newcastle match. Me and my best friend were watching on the telly, and we were just watching the goals just go flying in, and we were just singing "Riva Ronaldo" in my house. And then, you know, it didn't work out, and it was sad. But we couldn't have let him go to City. We were stuck in a rock and a hard situation. Like
No,
it
no.
was either this or that.
I remember that first game when against. It was actually that was the day of my birthday as well. And I loved it. I was like, lovely, Ronaldo scoring his first game back on my
Ah,
birthday, and we won as
all
well.
right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, God, I remember that. I think he did. He scored one in the first half. I think he scored a brace, didn't he?
yeah, he scored a
Yeah,
brace.
Bruno
Then Bruno
Lingard
scored a
scored.
screamer, and then Jesse scored the last goal.
Yeah, yeah. God, that was when we thought. That was when we brought in Varane as well. Sancho.
I
We thought we
know,
were doing
Varane.
bits.
So
Yeah, I remember that.
that's what
Yeah,
happened. The expectation got raised for Oli. The next expectation was, okay, you need to be challenging Manchester City with the squad. But what they didn't realize was they needed to refresh that squad properly. You didn't get rid of, if you wanted to play possession based front footed attacking football, you couldn't have played Harry Maguire. You shouldn't have allowed there to be a dispute between whether Henderson or De Gea was going to keep playing. That decision should have been made at the end of the Europa League final. Um, the midfield was not refreshed. We didn't have a six. We still relied on Matic and Mata, who were both past their primes. Both of them should have been let go. We didn't have the. It was great that we signed those players, but there were some glaring issues in our midfield and defense that we needed sorting out.
yeah, exactly. I mean, look, I know he may not have managed the club great, but Ralph Rangnick did say open heart surgery. You know, I mean, and he's still right to this day. He's still right in all fairness, but we just don't seem to do it. But again, a bit more about Ronaldo. He says with the ball with him in the team, it was no problem without him. We had to change a little bit the different roles we had gotten used to. We're one of the highest pressing teams before Ronaldo joined. He says we let Daniel James go when Cristiano Ronaldo came in, and they're two different types of players. It was the right decision to make for me. It didn't turn out to be the right one. Then he about integrating Ronaldo into the team. He says we started off straight away thinking how are we going to press and change little tweaks. Cristiano was different to Martial, big time. Fuck's sake, Ronaldo's
Shock.
like Jesus Christ, night and day. So different to Martial, who's up front, or whether he would play Greenwood or Rashford up front. He says Cristiano Ronaldo and I had a good relationship. There was respect. I think he behaved very well despite his disappointments when I was there. He said Edinson Cavani was the one that suffered the most when Cristiano Ronaldo came in. We played and got Edinson in a
Again,
certain way.
this was a big mismanagement. We should have allowed Cavani to leave if we were getting Cristiano. And if we were going to keep Cavani, then ideally we shouldn't have had Ronaldo. Like because of Ronaldo's signing, Cavani threw his toys out of the pram because we took his number seven, we took this nine from him. Like we took the seven from him, we took his position from him, and he was just reduced to a bench player. And like pro footballers are proud people. Like they won't, like they will not take this very lightly, and that's what happened.
Exactly. I mean, look, I miss Cavani. I know we signed him in his 30s, but still. Well, I thought he was good when he came.
Such a
Because,
beautiful song, wasn't it?
yeah. God, give it, Teddy Cavani, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I
Oh
know.
yeah.
Look, listen, we had a lot of good songs about Solskjaer, Ronaldo. Now it's Viva Ronaldo. No, so it was Viva Ronaldo. Now it's Viva Garnacho, Solskjaer, Cavani, um, even the Wild Matta song. Who's the best player in the Premier League? It's you 1-1-1 and all that. And anyway, so look, it is what it is. I don't think we have any songs for anyone else now. Martinez, but hopefully he doesn't go anywhere. But
Mm.
look, listen, Solskjaer, very interesting. I mean, I'd love the overlap to get him on again. I'd love us to have him on here, but that's a dream more than reality, isn't
I'd love to win the lottery, mate, but
it? Yeah, exactly, and that's just
I
a
met
dream
him.
as well.
I met him for a brief second. He had come
Yeah.
to India, Mumbai,
He actually
and
spoke about that when he was doing the thing earlier on as well. I'm not sure if you've seen it. He said that he'd done some meet and greet in India as well, and I
yeah,
was like,
yeah, he had done that, and my supporters club, the Pune supporters club, had gone, and we'd all met him, and I didn't get to do that because my pass was a different one. I just about bumped into him at the dinner dining reception. Like he was leaving, I was just about to go and eat, and I just bumped into him, and I was like, "Oh, Ollie, like, could I take a picture, please?" And he was like, "You're gonna have to be quick." And my friend was like there, and he took the picture, and I jumped into that shot, and I was like, "Thanks, man. You made me fall in love with United again." And he was like, "Oh, oh, thank you for your kind words." He was the nicest. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
it was goosebumps. Like every time like he's pretty tall, by the way. Like he's taller than you might
Really?
think. Like he always gives off this vibe that he's this short person. He's about as tall as me, and I'm like 5'11". So like
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
so you
yeah.
think he was like 5'8", 5'9", but like he's pretty tall.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose if you're standing beside, the players that he played with, and he obviously gonna look small. Um, I mean, look, that's. I mean, yeah. I mean, I always.
Yeah,
I didn't know that because you are right. He does. You do think he's just small, but I'm sure he's a tall guy. Um, I
yeah,
think.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just enjoy. I
he
didn't know
was
that now.
wonderful, and then that smile. He gave me a smile. He gave me that classic Ollie smile. That thing,
Ah,
and I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, ah! I fanboyed like a Swifty, and I'm not afraid to say it. Like that was one of the best nights of my life.
Oh well, that's I saw. I mean, I say 99 was. I'm sure he made a lot of people's nights a lot better. I'm sure everyone had a good night that night. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
And yeah, I mean, look, even me. I mean,
I'll
yeah,
have
I
a
mean,
piece coming out soon on Stratford Paddock about Ollie. A little
hmm?
preview sneak peek. It's going to be about Ollie. There's a piece coming soon, and I
Okay.
don't know when it'll be released. It's still in the editing phase, but I've written a piece about it as well. So yeah,
Nice,
little
nice, nice,
plug.
nice. Do it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You won't say nothing to Jay. But
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
listen, I'd love to meet Ollie. What a top man. Seems like it's a person you could talk
Yeah.
to all day and all night. You know what I mean?
He
He's just
he
that kind.
is like from what I've heard from people that have met him for like 45 minutes to an hour. They were like, we didn't know where the time went. He was so nice and he was so well spoken. He was proper gentleman, and you know, eh, like everything about him was just
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
how can a guy be this good? Like he's not called anyone a see you next Tuesday. He never sacked anyone off. He never said no to a photograph. He never said no to a autograph. Like how?
Yeah, he's just he doesn't seem like he'd be real to him. He just seems like
No, he
yeah,
doesn't
like
seem
I
like Roy Keane who'd just be like ready to fuck off.
that's just Roy Keane, isn't it? Good old Roy
Yeah,
Keane. Um, but look, I think did when Ollie got sacked, Roy Keane went to meet him. I
yeah.
mean,
So
yeah,
they talk about that. So Roy
yeah,
Keane, in his true Roy Keane fashion, drove 9 hours from Oslo to Christiansand, where Ollie lives, uh,
Jesus,
to
I
basically
heard
meet
about that.
him and cheer him up.
That's
Yeah,
mad.
he
Like,
did.
Roy Keane may look like this stubborn man, but I'm sure he has a heart. I'm sure he's a softie, deep inside.
No,
Uh,
here's the thing. His hard exterior was for one reason and one reason alone. He had standards and he wanted
yeah,
to win. Beyond
yeah.
that, he was a. I've heard from people like he was a demon on the smash. Like I think he got arrested for like assaulting someone, like being drunk as hell. So like he knows how
Uh,
to have a good time, and he has a killer. Like he gives off that vibe that he's like. Sometimes people think of him as bitter, but as someone who's from Pune, I understand that dry sense of humor, which is like sarcastic, bitey,
oh yeah,
because that's
yeah,
a
yeah,
very my
yeah.
hometown.
Same.
It's like it's very common there. So like when I hear him talk about that sort of stuff, I'm like I get that because like even I would say
Yeah,
something
same.
like that. And
Yeah,
when,
yeah,
when someone
same.
asks him a stupid question and he gives back a very like a rash answer, I'm like yeah, go on, do it. Like you can't all be just pandering and all. You've got to have some bad boys, and Roy Keane was the bad boy of that United side, and he was like I have yet to find anyone who just says Roy Keane's a knob in real life. Like they only say he was a knob because he like two-footed tackled them in on the pitch, but like off the field, I think everyone
We
who
can.
talks about Roy Keane always says that he was a very astute gentleman.
Yeah, he is a top man, like Roy Keane. I reckon, like when you get to know him, he's a nice guy. He's funny. I mean, he was still on about Solskjaer for missing that chance against Bayer Leverkusen in the semi-final. I mean, you know, and the band him and
Yeah,
all he have is
but
just the band they have is just something else. Like
I
no
know,
one taking
like
seriously.
their dynamic is almost better than Gene Evans and Roy Keane's. Like,
Who is it?
Solskjaer is the yeah, so Solskjaer is like the nice cop, and Roy Keane is the like it's like good cop, worst cop, and like it's like it's a good like if they were to make like one of that series that this Micah Richards and Roy Keane did, where they were driving to Wembley or something
Oh
like that, and
yeah,
they just
yeah,
used
yeah,
to. If they were
yeah.
to do that, I wouldn't be against it. Like if Ollie were to just like drive Roy around and they just keep talking about stuff like that would be top draw content. Like
Yeah, I'd love that. I mean, I wonder if they ever get Micah Richards on it though. I know he's not Solskjaer, legend, but I mean, even Roy Keane and Micah Richards together, I love that. You know what I mean? I love that so much.
especially
But look,
because it seems so unlikely.
yeah, exactly. Like, City, United, it's just you just have to love it. I mean, even Roy Keane and Ian Wright. I mean, them two are just gold. The overlap is just tops. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and I
Um,
recommend people all the time. Like if you want to just like if you just like football and you just want to just maybe if you don't like football, it's just the bands that they have are pretty good as well. Like some of the stuff that they banter each other about and just talk in general about life and stuff. I like that. Like the overlap
mm,
is a very good podcast and well made as well.
oh yeah. Like I think every time there's a podcast out every week, I'm like, I don't care who it is, who the guest is. I'm watching it.
Yeah,
That
for
has to be
sure, for
watched.
sure.
It's just brilliant. Um, but yeah, I mean, what a man Ollie is. I mean, what a man. And I mean, look, I know he didn't get treated right at the end, but he, like he said, he knew it was coming, so it wasn't like it was a big surprise. And yeah,
Maybe we learn
look,
from that and give this manager some time.
well, look, I'm sure we'll still get the people wanting Ten Hag out now, but look, it just goes to show back the manager, and we'll eventually get there. And I actually think the Ollie sacking has actually made me realise, you know what, back the manager a lot more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I hope that it is because I don't want us to turn into another Chelsea where we just don't give managers enough time to set themselves up and we just keep throwing money because we don't have that kind of dough anymore and we keep spending that money. We're already hamstrung by FFP as is. I cannot imagine how much amount we're going to have to spend on getting a new manager with new philosophy, new players in. So just stick with the guy you've got. He's a good manager. He's the first one to manage top four on a trophy. Just let it play out. Just stick through it. Where we don't, we have a injured 11 that beats the current 11. Just let it be. Wait. Give this guy some time. And I read
exactly.
something. I read one of my friends was telling me. He's like, you can only make systems and structures for your football philosophy if you have the same players to play it again and again. We've had, I think, what 38 different combinations of starting 11s.
Yeah,
Where are
something
we
similar.
going to be able? Yeah, so when are we going to be able to field a stable side? When we like, how are we going to impart a football philosophy when the players are just changing constantly? Routines are not set. How are you going to do that? You're going to need time. Give this guy time. That's my that's my humble request to all Manchester United fans. Give Eric time because look, just write off this season as a shit one. But just because a manager had a shit season doesn't mean you fire him. Fergie took 7 years and won the lot after that. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying Eric Ten Hag is Fergie, but give him at least 3 years. Let him see the end of the contract. He's like, we signed a contract with the man for 3 years. Let the 3 years complete. It's not like we're going to do it. Like, and whenever the times are tough, this message goes out to all United fans. You can probably clip this up in a what's it called? What you call it? Short and give it. Whenever times are tough, you must always look at the table, look how far down Chelsea are, and just say to yourself, at least we're not Chelsea.
Exactly. 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 I mean, look, I can always see getting to the stage where me and you will have to do a video, I mean, where will we want Ten Hag to stay and why people should back Ten Hag. I honestly feel like I'll get to that stage. That's not even a joke. I might get to that stage. Because every time I'm doing a watch long, post match preview, it's like, oh, so, what do you still want Ten Hag to say? Just say, you know what I mean? It's just, if someone makes a bad pass, Ten Hag's fault. Like, you know,
Yeah,
you
it was his
don't want
fault that Martinez and everyone. It's his
yeah,
fault that 11 players are out injured almost all the time. It's his fault because he is the one
yeah,
who went with a stick and beat him to it. It's not just like, yeah, we're gonna have to thicken up our skin and just be like, you know what, you can spout your shite as much as you want. It's not happened
mhm.
yet. We're gonna back the manager till they sack the manager.
Yeah. If you like, I'll be Ten Hag in until I don't think he'll get sacked, but hopefully, please, I really
I
hope not
hope he
because
does. I really like Eric and I want him to succeed because I'm sick of watching good managers come here and get like completely ruined. Like
mm-hmm.
just some time is all we ask. It's not much. Just some time to just
It's just
get
how the
some
fan base
stuff
is. It's
right.
just how the fan base is. That's just how that's the fan base is like that. It's always been like that. It's been like that since Fergie retired.
Alex retired, I know, but come on, do better. Like we can't.
Yeah,
I know we're Manchester United, but come on, we're Manchester United, and we give people a chance. We're not giving a player. We're not giving a manager a fighting chance by judging him or at his worst
yeah,
when it's all stacked up against him. We need to be backing him and being like, you know what, fuck it, you just you get through this season and we will back you for the next one as well. And we because here's the thing, start of last season, nobody was Ten Hag out. Everyone was like, oh my god, we've won a trophy and top four for the first time in 10 years, and people were backing him, and it's a results business, I know, but you won't get results without the players. And just wait until some players come back. Let some rhythm get back into the game. Wait till Martinez is back, Shaw is back, Hoyland's back. Just wait. Shut up and wait. That's all. That's my message to the United fan base. By the way,
exactly.
there's a little bit of news that United are apparently slated, like they've been told that they'll have to pay 21 million pounds to get Dan Ashworth. So just a news I just got on my text alert. So
Okay, off 21 minutes. It's getting higher now. Fucking hell.
yeah, this looks like Anthony all over again, and I'm just like, are we
Yeah,
going to spend 100 million on a fucking football director?
I know, I know. Like that's just ridiculous. I mean, yeah, lovely. One thing I do like about me and you is none of us are Ten Hag out, so there's no arguments about Ten Hag staying, which is what I love. But
That's
yeah,
why
Dan
I like your
Ashworth,
channel. That's what got me to your channel, because you're one of the few
yeah,
sane United fan channels.
exactly, exactly. I mean, look, that's just some people don't have patience. Me and you and other Manchester United fans who want Ten Hag to stay have patience. You know what I mean? I don't mind people's opinions. I'm all up for that. It's a fan channel. It's opinions allowed. No one's right. No one's wrong. Your opinions allowed. No one's gonna. No, that's not saying no one's gonna agree or disagree with your opinion. You're allowed to have an argument. That happens. I do. When I do watch long, I do have arguments, but that's just how it is. And you'll need that along the way as well. You'll have your arguments. It's just how it is.
I know. After this, I'm gonna have to probably go back to my supporters club and fight with some jackass again. I keep calling him jackass because I don't know his real name, so I'm just gonna call him
Okay.
jackass.
Jack as will do. But look, it's been brilliant as always. What a show! I mean, I actually enjoyed the end of that. You know what I mean? Just discussing everything.
Yeah,
Um,
just United aren't playing Europe. We're out of Europe, baby. We're gonna have
yeah,
some parties in on Wednesdays.
yeah. Well, hopefully, Man City get knocked out tonight, which is very, very unlikely. But look, all we can do is hope. But look, mate, I appreciate you coming on. Brilliant show. We should definitely get a
It's been my
podcast up
pleasure.
running, so like a podcast where we can go for as long as we want and talk about absolutely anything in the world.
I
So
would
it's
love
definitely,
nothing more.
yeah, well, it's definitely a plan that I have, and shouldn't take long to sort. But mate, like I said, thanks for coming on. Much appreciated as always.
Yep.
Legend,
Thank you.
legend. And to the people who are watching, who watch later on, appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And like he's doing, follow all our socials as well on the edit there and in the description as well. And we shall speak to you on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Bye.